My name is Brian Elwood, and I've generated over $2 million from these 3 simple self-published books on Amazon KDP. I'm going to show you the single most powerful thing that you can add to your book in order to get more customers. It's one single thing that you add one time and it works for you forever. Yet most authors have no clue about this. And if you have published on Amazon KDP, you're seeing very few sales, and those sales go nowhere. You don't make any additional money. You don't get customers or clients from those book purchases. And the whole thing ultimately feels like a waste of time. Then this video is for you. So when I published these first 2 books on Amazon, I would see sales roll in and I would get excited. I made my $6 per sale, but I was ultimately hoping that these people would reach out to me and turn into customers or clients. I wish I could contact them, but Amazon does not give you the contact information of the people who buy your stuff. So I would just kind of sit back and cross my fingers, and occasionally some of them did actually go to my website, click the little contact form, fill out the information, send me a message. And through brute force, they found their way to me. We ended up on a call and they became clients. And in general, that's bad business practice. You want doing business with you to feel like going down a slide, not having to climb up a rocky mountain. But that's essentially the customer journey that I had created for the people who bought my book on Amazon specifically. So when I wrote my 3rd book, Get Clients with a Book, I wanted to make sure this never happened again. I wanted to give people a reason to reach out to me, to give me their contact information so I could get back in control over the customer journey and have the best chance of turning them into a customer or a client. Just to go off script here for a second, when you're a expert or a coach and you have a small business, you're a one-man, one-woman show, you have to optimize the crap out of your business. It may not make sense that you would have to spend so much time optimizing when you already don't have a lot of traffic or leads or whatever. But the opposite is actually true. When you don't have a ton of leads, you cannot afford to let anything slip through the cracks, right? If you want to be able to pay the bills, then you've got to squeeze all the juice out of the fruit that you have. And that's why I, for the most part, promote using book funnels to sell your books, where you are in control, where you get the customer's contact info. You can make a lot more money per book sale, and then you can follow up with them precisely as you want to turn them into clients. However, we all know Amazon is a big part of the game when it comes to publishing a book. You want it to be there because a lot of people are just more comfortable buying books on Amazon, and it also gives you the credibility of being a real published author when you put your book on Amazon. So Amazon is part of the plan, but it's also important that you optimize the crap out of your Amazon plan as well. So now let's get back to what I did differently with this book to maximize the chance of getting a customer or a client from someone who buys this on Amazon. So the first thing to know is that if you're looking at the social media landscape of, like, you could have YouTube subscribers or an Instagram following or a LinkedIn following or whatever, there's one thing that stands head and shoulders above those different assets that you can build, and that is an email list. For years now, email has been the unbeaten champion in this space. Surveys have shown that people are 6 times as likely to make a purchase from an email than they are straight off of social media. So it's like social media is when you are just dating your prospects, and then email is when you're asking for marriage. The person's deeper in your funnel at that point, and that is where people are used to being sold to, whereas people do not usually, click something right off of Instagram and then get out their credit card. You don't want your book readers to follow you on Instagram or subscribe to you on YouTube more than you would want them to give you their email address. That is the absolute best thing that you could get. However, like we said, you cannot get that from Amazon. So what do you do? Well, getting an email from someone is an exchange of value. It's like if a girl's going to give a guy her number, then he should be showing or representing some type of value that he's going to give to her, because she knows if she gives him her number, he may blow her up all the time and annoy her or whatever. So there's some risk with that exchange. If he says, let's trade numbers and I'll take you out to Burger King sometime, then she's probably going to laugh and say no. The exchange of value needs to be outsized where, it seems like a really worthwhile trade. The same thing happens still when people think about giving you their email address. Like if I put my email in to get something from somebody, I know they're going to email the crap out of me, right? And I'm going to have to deal with that. And I may not be interested in it, and it may just take away my attention. I unsubscribe. And so I would only put my email in if I know that the thing I'm going to get is so valuable that it would be worth dealing with a little bit of that. So you have to give away something that is as valuable as you can make it inside of your book. So when someone buys this on Amazon and they flip it open, they see that there's an additional bonus or a resource that's so amazing that they would almost be crazy to not get it. And the cost of getting it is their email address. And you don't want to make the mistake of saying, go here to join my email newsletter, right? That is not nearly valuable enough. You want to think about what is being taught in your book, and then what can you create to help them implement the stuff being taught. Like for this book, it's obviously about how to write a book and use it to get clients. Well, there's a lot I can say in this book, but at the end of the day, there's one thing that they have to do when this is done, and they have to write the book. And it's hard, and it can be confusing and disorganized. So what I did is I went into Google Docs and I pre-built an entire template for their book, where every chapter is already in there, and there's writing prompts and all of that to show them how to write the book. And so they just have to right-click copy, and their book has basically been started for them, and it's already organized, and it saves them a lot of time and confusion. This is also something that I could not put in a book, right? This lives outside of the book. Like if your book was about how to buy rental properties, you could create the world's best, cash flow analysis spreadsheet, and then give that away in exchange for people's emails who read your book. You can't put formulas in a spreadsheet in a book. It doesn't make sense, right? It needs to live on a spreadsheet outside of the book. So think about the outcome that people want when they read your book, and then think about something you could create to help them implement what's in your book that doesn't naturally just fit in a book as like more information. It's more of an implementation tool. So like if you flip open to this book before the introduction even, I'm already pushing this client getting book template. Just scan this QR code and download it right away. And I probably promote this at least 5 other times in the book. They scan this, they go to a simple opt-in page, put their email in, get access. And then when they do that, they go right into an email sequence that follows up with them and adds more value and tells them about how I can help them one-on-one to write their book and do everything to get clients with a book. I get plenty of people who opt in to get this template that bought my book on Amazon, or maybe they even bought it on Audible, which is another thing is, audiobooks are all the rage. You got to do an audiobook. Well, you can have a CTA in one of those as well. In fact, the last 2 clients that I am now working with one-on-one, they started with this template. When we started working together, they showed me the template and they said, here's where I've gotten it to, Brian. I want you to help me from here. So it was like this thing that I spent a lot of time creating, and I created training videos to show how to use it. But then after that, it was set it and forget it. And now that asset continues to work for me. And essentially what it does is it lifts readers out of a book that was purchased on Amazon and into my email sequence so that I can add more value and maximize my chances of getting clients with my book. So before you publish your book on Amazon KDP, create the most valuable giveaway that you possibly can, and then advertise the crap out of it inside of your book. Put QR codes 4 or 5 times throughout the book and ask people to download that thing. This is how you take the desire to be an author and publish books, and you overlap it with the best digital marketing sales practices so that you can have your best chance of taking someone who buys your book on Amazon and turning them into a real customer. If you want to learn more about the full process that I use to make $30,000 per month from my books that are listed on Amazon KDP, I think you're going to love this video right here. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.